Hi everybody, welcome back to the latest of our Friday night mindsetting program videos with Steve Ackley and Roger Black. Last week we talked about the importance of being able to deal with and indeed embrace change. And this week we're going to cover the significance of the ability to learn continuously. So, you know, our clients range in ages from sort of even late teens that are setting up businesses right up to people that are in their 80s. And I've always had a great admiration for people that maybe at the latter end of their career, but still have this desire to learn. And I just wanted to ask, perhaps we'll start with Roger, just the mindsetting program and what that talks about on this issue.
Yeah, I mean, learning continuously, Malcolm, was something that certainly when we were athletes, we had to do, but actually you make a valid point. I in reflection, I think it was something that I did more as I got older as an athlete than when I was younger, because the truth is, you know, when you come into the sport and you're young, you're healthy, you've got a bit of talent, you've got your life ahead of you, you can't just get on with it. You're just busy training, you're loving every day, you can't help but run fast or throw a long way. And you don't do too much thinking. Well, I think I certainly didn't anyway, and I think that is the case. And then something happens along the way. Usually in our game, it will be injury. And as you get older and you realise that your body can't do what it used to do, you understand that you've got to find a different way to perform at the highest level, because it can't just be a physical thing. Then you start to use the mindset, which is clearly something myself and Steve passionately believe in. And you really start to have that growth mindset mentality. So that continual learning, I think, and you've said it with your older clients, is something that I think as the older you get, the more you value it, the more you realize that actually you've got to think smarter rather than sort of tap into your youth. And I think that probably is the same whether it's in sport or whether it's in business. Steve, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Certainly that's our experience, isn't it? I mean, you know, it allowed us to have long careers as sports people, relatively, I suppose, both sort of 15 years plus, and learned right to the very end, because stuff's changing. But I suppose the observation that you're only ever doing one of two things. You're either succeeding or learning. There's no such thing as failure. And that's... one thing coming out of sport and working in the corporate world and the business world and running our own businesses, I think the world away from sport is less appreciative and possibly accepting of failure. You know, in sport, it's just part of your life, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're not failing, you're not pushing hard enough in some ways. And every time you fail, you're learning something new. You know, then you might change the plan and you're pushing. Because, of course, you know, we fell outside the world's top 5 or whatever it was. We had to go get a job. So you had to keep learning and growing because the rest of the world's doing the same. And they might be more hungry than you when you get older. So you have to then, as you say, so there's an upward pressure from those coming after you. And then the intrinsic one from yourself. So, yeah, I think we're probably well placed to have that as an existing habit. Don't necessarily need to work on that too hard. But as I say, going into the corporate world, I found that interesting. I think there's a sort of if there's a potential failure, people tend to take a step backwards and we might let someone else take that one. And I've always sort of wondered what culture that breeds and you know, whether that is, if it is frowned upon, what the cost of that is in true performance growth. But not for us to solve, but we recognise it because, again, it's down to us personally to be accountable for that.
Brilliant. I think you're either succeeding or learning. You've just written the title for my email that'll go out.
There you go.
That's fantastic, guys. Next week, we're going to be talking about work-life balance, and I think I probably need a bit of advice from that one. So I'll see you next week, chaps.
See you next week.